stuck in the house you don't want ever. All you think now. I don't know why that's stuck in my head. I just realized when I'm saying it, like, why is it stuck in my head? But hope everybody is well today. For the people that are joining in, hello. My name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. If you do not know who I am, and today we're going to be talking about the cost of diabetes and how the food habits that you have and the way that you eat is affecting your wallet, but not only your wallet, but also your health. And a lot of people do not understand the fact that the way that you are eating currently right now is leading you down a path of you just sitting here constantly consuming and not using food as your medicine, but rather using it as something to fill your body with. And so today we're going to be talking about the effects of the cost on your wallet and also your body and your health. The foods that you eat daily are not only going to either help you, but they can also harm you. It depends on how you use them. Hello. How are you doing, love? And so we have to understand that diabetes and insulin resistance isn't just a health issue, but you also have to understand that they're projecting that they are going to profit millions and billions of dollars off of you by 2030, more than what they already are. Because right now they're projecting that the medical costs and like the profit margins are going to go up over 2%. In that short amount of time, over 2%. And so when you really think about the fact that I think it's even higher than 2%. Now that I'm thinking, I'm like, I have to look at the statistic. Yeah, so yeah, diabetes alone, because if you really sit there and you do the research and you connect the dots between diabetes and obesity and being overweight, right now, currently in America, they're profiting $327 billion off of people having diabetes. $327 billion. And they're projecting it to go up by 2030. They're projecting, I think, to be making a loan off of obesity. I think they're projecting to go up to $17 billion on obesity alone. And that's why I said I'm going to have to get down to the statistic because it's later on in the live topic of pinpoints that I have so I can make sure I don't get off track. But I want you to understand that like they are seeing you as a profit margin, a dollar sign, rather than a person that deserves real whole food and knows how to take care of their body and take care of themselves. And so daily you sit there and you choose to eat however, whenever, whatever, and you don't choose your own health. You don't even choose to set aside enough money for you to go and buy organic produce, for you to eat actual good food. Instead, you choose the dollar menus and the 4 for 4s and the 5 for 5s from Wendy's and McDonald's and Burger King and all these different places that have chain fast food places that cook your food in inflammatory oils, heavy amounts of sodium, and then you also don't realize that it has additives and fillers inside of it like titanium dioxide, citric acid, and all of these things make you sick. Thank you for the follow. And so daily you do this to yourself. You don't just eat this every now and then, which is once a month or every 3 months. You do this daily, weekly. You put your body in an insulin resistant state because you don't get enough proteins and fat and healthy fats in your food, but instead you eat something that's heavily filled with sodium and filled with sugars, not realizing every single time you do that, and especially if you're eating carbohydrates, you're putting your body in an insulin resistant state, which is going to keep you ill, which is going to make you lead yourself to diabetes. There's no other path. And you see the result of how we're eating when you look at society, when you look at that number to see that in America, it costs $27 billion a year if you were diabetic, and for them to have all the treatments that they need for diabetes when it comes to insulin resistance and them giving you insulin and you going back and forth to the doctor, $327 billion. How much are you contributing to that profit margin? How much are you contributing to these fast food places profiting off of you being sick? Really sit there and think about what you are doing. The $1 billion is crazy. Like, that's absolutely insane to really sit there and think about it. And then the crazy part is the numbers keep getting higher. If it's already at $327 billion, how much do you think it's going to be by 2030 when their agenda is to make you sicker? The agenda is to keep profiting off of you and figuring out how they can profit off of your ignorance. Because that's what people are doing. They're being ignorant with what they're consuming and not realizing the fact that these companies are profiting off of you not knowing what is in the food. They're profiting off of you throwing off your chemical balance so that you don't even crave the natural, real whole foods that you should be craving, which are fruits and vegetables. You sit here and crave Takis and hot chips and hot Cheetos and ramen at 8 a.m. You're craving coffee that's heavily loaded with sugar and creamers that's full of dairy and everything else. You crave this at 8 a.m. and you eat this way all day long. You eat meat. You're sitting there eating sausage, which is pork, at 8 a.m. You're eating bacon at 8 a.m. and trying to figure out how you led yourself to being diabetic and having high blood pressure because you were sitting here poisoning yourself with the foods that you were eating. And it's time for you to shift your health. But instead of you coming to the realization that you're spending thousands of dollars to spend on food and that you're going to be spending thousands of dollars later on to deal with treatments, insulin, you're sitting there, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars later on going back and forth to the doctor, having surgeries. You're going to be spending thousands of dollars to try to sit here and manage a disease inside of your body because you didn't know how to heal. You never knew how to help your body heal. Instead, take that money and reinvest it in your health. Reinvest it in yourself and understand that you can help yourself heal and not have to deal with these issues, not have to go back and forth to the doctor, not have to have surgeries. They're suggesting to you to get your uterus removed, to have a hysterectomy, to get fibroids and cysts surgically removed. But they're not telling you, hey, you can heal from this and you can help it heal outside of that birth control that they're sitting there recommending to you. Hey, do you know if you have diabetes, you don't have to go on insulin, but instead you can sit here and support your diabetes by changing your habits when it comes to food and realizing that the lifestyle that you've lived all of your life has led you to being insulin resistant and diabetic. You spike your insulin every single day when you eat because you don't realize when you're having something that has high sugar content, even natural sugars from fruits, you should be pairing it with something like nuts, for example, a good healthy protein, a good healthy fat. But instead they tell you to eat your fruit in the AM because you need fruit, but also pair it with bacon and sausage, eat a biscuit, get you some toast. And you sit here and you think that your toast with your jelly is okay for you to go run because you're on the run, you're on the go. So you pair it with coffee because you need energy. And so you have this toast, jelly, and coffee. And then you're like, let me get some sausage and throw it on top of that. Your habits have led you here to being diabetic, and the habits are leading you down financial struggle. It's leading you down financial burdens. And all because you choose food to be something to fill your body rather than using it as your medicine. It's absolutely insane how much they're profiting off of you. And instead of you sitting here saying, you know what, I don't want to be in the category of what everybody else is doing. If your family has a history of your mother, your grandmother, your father, your grandfather, whoever having diabetes, it does not run in your family. It's because everybody has the same habits. And instead of you saying, I don't want to be led down the same path because everybody's doing the same thing, you say, well, it's inevitable, I'm going to have it. And so you just keep doing the same thing, expecting a different result. That's absolutely insanity. Well, welcome in. I hope this supports you in any way. If you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments for the people that are here. And if you do not know me, since you are new here, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. I'm here to help you and support you in understanding what is going on with our food industry and understanding how fitting yourself in this little box of normal that everybody else does of following these my plates and these food pyramids and what everybody else is doing with fast food and going out to eat and just consuming and not being aware is poisoning you. It's making you ill. And instead of us realizing that and changing our habits, we keep raising more generations that don't know how to take care of their body. More generations that don't understand that our body is able to heal itself. It's a matter of what you do. Not realizing how powerful your body is keeping us in this state of being unaware and being programmed and being just NPCs, like just being here on this earth, not actually being consciously aware. Because so many people are talking about how they're woke, they're being woken up, and how this is a generation of us being woke. But you don't realize that being woke is more than just you being aware of what is going on in the industry when it comes to, oh, I know that they are sitting out here not supporting us with these government officials and stuff, but realizing the fact that you have been programmed to do habits that keep you in a toxic state, that make you sick, they make you ill. For breakfast, I recommend you either fast or you first of all, never break your fast without drinking water. You first need to do water. If you are, realize the fact that if you are somebody who eats meat and dairy, I don't know your lifestyle, but for instance, how you say you eat oatmeal. I'm the person who does not like oatmeal with water. I have to have milk in my oatmeal. It just does not do it for me if I put water in it. I don't consume dairy. I'm plant-based. I don't eat meat. I don't eat dairy, and I don't eat any processed foods that have additives and fillers that are toxic to your body. I eat real whole foods, natural ingredients. And so, for instance, people who eat oatmeal, they use dairy. They don't use real natural fruits in there. They go get the Quaker oats, or they go get the Quaker little instant oatmeal. I said instant ramen. Instant oatmeal that has the freeze-dried fruits in it. That's not giving you the nutrients that you need. If you want real nutrients when you are first getting up in the AM, you don't need anything else but use some water and some fruits. If you have to eat at 8 a.m. or 9 or 10 or 7 or whatever else, water and fruits is what you should be breaking your fast with. And if you can fast for longer than that, that's what I suggest, because that's what I do. But people are at the point where they have programmed their body to be hungry that early, and to be hungry that early, and you don't have to suffer through that, but you need to know how to support your body with real whole foods. So yes, at 4 a.m. I would never suggest you eat anything besides water and fruits. And if you like cucumbers, water-based things will be good for you, because that gets things flowing. Your brain needs water. And that's the same thing for anybody. If you were suffering currently right now with like diabetes or any health issues, you should be consuming more water-based fruits and vegetables than anything, so you're flowing and flushing. That's how you detox. That's how you release. If you are sitting there and you're dealing with weight fluctuation, or you just cannot get your weight to be stabilized and you're overweight currently, or maybe you're suffering from being underweight and you're trying to gain weight, it's the matter of what you're doing to your body and what you're putting in it that's going to support you. Either you need more proteins or you need more water-based and protein. Either which way, you still need protein. So let me not say or, but you still need proteins. You need healthy fats. You need the right amount of iron, the right amount of magnesium, and you always need water. That's the way you keep yourself in a healthy state. If you're not getting those on a regular basis, you're going to be malnourished from the start. And if you're not getting the other nutrients that you need from like vitamins, other minerals, your body has been in a fight or flight state for years on end, because majority of society is not just up and deciding today that they no longer want to eat the correct way and start eating like crap. They've been eating like crap for all of their life, and then they choose diet culture for a week, a 2 or month, and then they sit there and they're like, oh, okay, well, I've been doing this for quite a while. I should be good to go back to the lifestyle that I was living. Not realizing the fact that puts your body in fight or flight mode. When you were eating terribly, and then you go to a space of where you're eating correctly, and then you go back, your body's gonna hold on to the crap more than it does normally. Because it's gonna say, ooh, she's gonna start calorie restricting again. I'm gonna be hungry. Let me hold on to this. Ooh, she's not gonna be eating all the favorite foods that we were eating before, so let's go ahead and overconsume this now. So then when we go back to the diet culture, then we can have something to feed off of. And we can remember how delicious those Cheetos were. So then we can start having cravings, and then maybe she'll give in. Because you have to realize you train your brain to do these things. The same thing when you sit there every single day and you give yourself unhealthy proteins, you give yourself processed sugar from like white sugar and brown sugar, and you sit here and you do this every single day, you eat carbohydrates, you eat bread all day. You're putting your body in a fight or flight state, and you're making your chemical balance off, where you sit there and you crave this crap constantly. And so you wonder why when you do diet culture, why you're starving. You wonder why it sucks. You wonder why you have that fatigue and you're like, I have a headache. I can't do this. And you're sitting there telling yourself you can't do it, but it's because your brain is literally going crazy saying, listen, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't know why you're doing this to me, but I'm going to make it terrible for you. And I'm going to drag you in the mud until you stop doing it, because you have trained your brain to sit here and be chemically imbalanced. Because if you don't know, the processed foods you were eating is the root cause of your problem. Like, let's really get into it. And there's the statistic that I was looking at. The processed foods you were eating are the root of the cause. The global obesity rates right now, in between the connection between obesity and diabetes, the industry right now is at 1.7 trillion. I said billion because I thought it was in billion. It's expected to hit 1.7 trillion. I said billions. It's supposed to hit trillions. By 2030, we're expected to hit $1.7 trillion when it comes to the industry that's dealing with and profiting off of obesity and diabetes. If you can't tell me that if you can't sit there and say that there's an agenda out for you to make yourself ill, that's the answer right there. That is literally telling you right there. They're projecting to be in the trillions, and they're not making it a national issue. They're not sitting there putting out a PSA of, we're no longer going to give you these processed foods. We're no longer allow this to be happening in our society because it's a problem. Instead, they see you as a dollar sign and a profit margin, and they say, hey, $1.7 trillion. I think if they can't get themselves together and have enough sense to at least be like, you know what, I'm conscious of what I'm eating, I'll take the $1 trillion. If somebody offered you $1 trillion right now and they were like, hey, all you have to do is sit here and keep pushing this product that is terrible for you, majority of these influencers would do it. Majority of you would do it because you're so chemically imbalanced. You can't realize the fact that, like, there's profit in you being healthy and for you to be able to enjoy that. They're making more flavor options with all these processed foods. They're ramping up how many processed foods they can put on the shelf and tell you it's made from veggies. They're putting it out there and saying that this is a heart healthy cereal. This is good for you to give your kids. This is a good substitute, a fast breakfast for you. But you never flip it around and look at the ingredients. You never look at it and say, I wonder why all of a sudden this company that has been poisoning you for years has something that is a plant-based food. You sit here, because I had somebody tell me the other day that was like, oh yeah, they have plenty of options for you now for fast food. You can get this Beyond Burger and this Impossible Meat and Impossible Chicken. And I was like, I don't eat that stuff. And they're like, why? And I'm like, do you not, like, it really just mind-blowing. It's just mind-blowing. I'm like, you don't look at ingredients? Like, you don't look up anything that you put in your body? Thanks for the follow. And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, all you have to do is look at the first 3 ingredients of that. It's made of soy, some type of processed oil, some terrible inflammatory oil that's gone through a heavy process. And then it has citric acid, titanium dioxide, sodium phosphate. Like, it's just a long list, a whole bunch of different yeasts. And then we sit here and wonder why we're sick. You sit here and wonder why you have yeast overgrowth in your body. It is more than just, having a yeast infection or whatever else. Yeast shows itself in many different signs. Look at your tongue, in between your thighs, under the armpits. Like, really sit there and look at that. The same thing of how they say diabetes makes you have a dark neck. Overgrowth of yeast can also do that as well. The scalp, when you were sitting there flaky, having all of this dandruff, because I used to be a heavy dandruff sufferer, like literally to the point where because we're black people know, people of color, you don't have to wash your hair every single day. I didn't wash my hair every single day. But if I didn't put something in my hair, run a wet rag through my scalp at some point, dandruff would be all through my scalp. My hairstylist used to be like, dandruff is ridiculous in your head. And I didn't know why. It's because of the yeast overgrowth. You really have to sit there and connect the dots and realize the foods you were eating has led you here. And it's time for you to change. $1.7 trillion. Think of how much money, if you are either eating terribly and leading yourself to the point of having diabetes, or you already have it, or if you're dealing with overweight or obesity, think about that, how much you're contributing to that $1.7 trillion they're projecting to have by 2030. Think about how much money you could have in your pocket if you started eating correctly, because people love to sit there and talk about how expensive it is for you to eat healthy, how expensive it is for you to eat organic, how you can't go plant-based because you can't afford it. But think about how much money you're spending right now because you go get a 4 for 4 every single day. Think about how much money you spend eating out and going to restaurants and different places and spending food at places that make you toxic. When you can eat out, you can eat at these different places. I'm not saying do it every day, but you can eat out and you can enjoy the food, get real whole nutrients, and not be hungry 15, 20, 30 minutes later sitting there talking about, I ate a whole meal. Because when you eat plant-based and you eat real whole foods, real ingredients, you're not going to be hungry in 10 to 15, 30 an hour. Because you ate actual food with nutrients in it. When you eat a whole meal of real whole foods or fruits and vegetables, when you make it at home, you're not going to be sitting here eating all day and like, why in the world am I so hungry? Because you're eating real whole foods. You're giving your body the nutrients that it needs. Majority of the time, I don't eat more than twice a day. Majority of the time, I really only eat one meal a day. I might have a snack, but an actual real meal, there's no reason for all of that. If I do all of that, I'm going to be stuffed. Like at that point, I'm sitting there like I'm uncomfortable. Like that's when you sit there and you're like, oh, I need the itis. I have the itis. You do realize that the itis is coming from when you sit there and you eat one meal, you go to McDonald's, for example. Let's just say this. You're on your lunch break. You go to McDonald's. And now you eat all this food and you're like, oh, I need a nap. I can't do it. You ate one singular meal and you need a nap because you have the itis. You do understand that that itis is caused because you're not getting the nutrients that you need, so you have no energy. When you have the itis after you eat something that is terrible for you, like McDonald's or Burger King or all these fast food places or these restaurants, and you're sitting there like, oh, I have the itis, I have to go take a nap, I'm not going to be any use today for them at work. It's because you got no nutrients. And so your body is sitting there expelling all of the sugar from your body at a high rapid rate. And so now your body is sitting there in panic mode. And so immediately, it's just like how when you say that people go into a, like, how they have diabetes and they have to go to sleep, that they call it, like they joke around, not an actual diabetic coma, but they feel like they are, so they have to go take a nap, or they literally just cannot stay awake. That's what you're doing to your body every single time you're sitting there saying you have the itis. Or you sit there and you're like, ooh, I need something sweet after I eat it. It's because your insulin has been spiked so much. Now it's releasing too much too much sugar from your body. And so your body is in a panic state, releasing all the sugar. And so now it's telling you need to add more sugar back in. You need to go take a nap. I stopped in 2020. I air fry my food, I think. You have to be careful with those air fryers. I just learned about this recently. I don't know about mine either because mine came from Walmart, so I'm not really having the best high hopes about it. But you have to be careful with the air fryers because they're talking about one of like the toxins that come from the black plastic, the toxins that come from the electrical cord and like the wiring. And there was one more thing that I did not, like I wasn't really fully aware. So you have to be careful. They do have glass air fryers. I have not looked into them exactly, but they look way safer. I have not looked into them to know like how expensive they are or anything like that, or how big they are. But I do know there's glass air fryers, and I'm thinking about investing in one of myself. Just because I love my air fryer too. I still use my air fryer, but I just preference this to anybody because that is the healthier way for you to have your crispy food without having to actually fry it. Is be careful where you're getting it from, know what it's made from, because this like Teflon and all of these different like coatings that they put on there, like it leaches into your food, the plastics and everything else. So one, if you're going to be using an air fryer, you need to line the tray for sure. Line the tray. I don't even care, because it's like, even if it's made from something that's like, you know, metal wiring or anything, it's like you're still putting metals and stuff in your food. So I always line mine with parchment paper. That's like always what I do. But just be careful, just FYI for anybody that's in here, because I love my air fryer. That's one thing that I'm like, that's one thing that I absolutely love is my air fryer, and I don't see myself being able to give it up anytime soon. So I'm looking for alternatives to make sure that I'm not poisoning myself with it, because it's like, I don't like throwing money down the drain. I know that a lot of people don't like throwing money down the drain. That's why when you bring up becoming plant-based and eating healthier, people freak out and they're all of a sudden talking about how they can't afford it, they can't do it, and X, Y, and Z. But you just have to know how to do it and do it sustainably. Because for instance, like when I tell people like, okay, well, I got a Costco membership, like it's not that hard for you to go get a whole bag of 10 apples for $4.99. They're talking about how they can't afford a Costco membership. But there are different, first of all, you can get Costco memberships with different things. Like probably more likely than not, you don't realize all of these services that you have with streaming and everything else, you probably can bundle it with something and get it for free. Your phone service might offer it. Like they're offering many different things for all of these services that we pay for. You just have to look into it. There are even different like ways for you. For example, I have the Black membership, like the executive membership for Costco. You can go to Costco, get an executive membership, spend over $200, which more likely than not, if you are a single person, I spend about $200, depending on, because I go about like once a month, just buying in bulk. But you can go, if you go sporadically, if you have more than one person in your home, invest in an executive. Yes, it's $120 right then and there, but you get money back. If you spend over $200 every time you go, you will get money back every 6 months. So right then and there, I think I got $60 back from the last time, and I wasn't spending $200 at first. But over time, I realized that like it was easy for me to spend $200. All I had to do was just start buying everything I needed at once and buying it in bulk and stop going to everywhere else and just buy the things that I needed at Costco. It was easy for me to spend the $200 there. And by this time next year, because I just renewed my membership, I'm going to make the $120 back. It's basically just investing in you, buying into their company. And I'm fine with that because I get majority of the things that I need from Costco. Like it's not that difficult to invest in your health and invest in a way for you to make it easier on yourself. Because if you don't know, Costco, you buy things in bulk. That's the reason why you can get 10 apples for $4.99 there. I've never been to Sam's Club. I hear how good Sam's Club is, but I don't know how many plant-based products they have. Costco has been on the come up when it comes to plant-based products, so that's the reason why I've been there. I have a BJ's card as well. They don't have a lot of plant-based things, but they do have, like, Costco doesn't have sweet potatoes. They don't have like romaine lettuce, organic and all that stuff. So like BJ's has like organic potatoes and sweet potatoes and romaine lettuce, so I do have that membership for that, which theirs is like $30. It's not that expensive. But the point is like, for instance, like you can get your money back for that. I know a lot of people think that like $120 to shop here, I'm not spending that much money, I'm not gonna do that. But it's like, if you really think about how they give you cash back or a check back for you to spend there, it's like you're getting your money back, which you already would have been spending somewhere else. So it's like $120 to invest over the year when every 6 months you get a check. Can you imagine if you spend $300, $400, $500 on groceries, how much more you would get? Because that's just me spending $200 and I got $60 back every single month, spending $200 plus. Can you imagine if you spend at least $300 a month, 4, 5, you're going to be getting more than what you invested in back. And so that covers groceries as you go along. And so that's why I tell people that it's like, it's a matter of, do you want a solution or do you want to complain? Because I have the solutions. If you want to know how to do it, you'll come work with me. You'll work with me in my program. You'll buy into my plant-based cookbook that literally teaches you how to make plant-based recipes. It's a matter of, what do you want? Do you want to help yourself be healthy and heal? Do you want to know how to be healthy and heal? Or do you want to keep complaining and sitting there feeling like that there's no solution? There's no way out of this. That all food is poison and you're going to be poisoned for the rest of your life. So you might as well be here for a good time, but not a long time. When you can be here for a good time and you can take care of your body and possibly be here for a long time, because you never know how long the Most High has for you here on this earth. You could be here doing and living your best life and not choosing your health and still be here for a long time. And people don't think about that. They're like, you could be here for a long time and be suffering. These processed foods that you eat are going to lead you down that path of suffering. So let's say that you have been projected to be here because the Most High said you're going to be here until you're 120. But you develop diabetes by the time that you're 40 and 50. And so you're managing that for another 50 plus years of your life. That's not a good time to me. Having to take insulin every single day, that's not a good time for me. And so the solution is for you to invest in your health right here, right now. Because trust me, it's not getting any better. Diabetes is ramping up far as getting more expensive. You sit here and you think the insulin is covered by your provider now, but can you imagine what is going to happen when they have the insulin shortage more than what they already are having? Because they're already talking about how bad the insulin shortage was, and that the government made them start giving people insulin because they were restricting. And so once they started making them give it to them at a lower price, people started hoarding insulin. People started buying up in bulk. So can you only imagine when your insurance company decides that they can't deal with all the stress of them trying to get all of the my bracelet came off, all of the insulin that you need, because everybody else is needing insulin too. So they just said the ones that can afford it can afford it. If you can't, figure it out, and they stop covering it. That's the reality that we're coming to. These insurance companies are going to stop supporting you far as like medications and prescriptions as much as they already are in doctor's visits, because the facts are right there. I'm like, it was a quick Google search. I was wondering, because in 2020 we know how they were having all these medication shortages and everything else. It's not gotten any better. The companies started getting onto the medical industry for price gouging y'all. And so them getting onto them made them realize the fact that, okay, we have to lower the prices because the insurance companies are not going to be sitting there paying us the way that we want to be paid. Can you only imagine when the insurance companies say, you know what, I'm done. I'm sick of dealing with this. Because that's the point that they're getting at. These insurance companies are overworked. They're stressed out. They're tired of dealing with these people too. So can you only imagine when they get to the point where they're going to say, hey, only the high class of the people that are paying us a whole lot of money can get insulin help. The rest of you got to figure it out. Because that's where they're going. They're not going to keep covering y'all and taking up for the little man that isn't paying them what they want you to pay. Because you see how prices are going up. Insurance is going up. People are complaining about interest rates. So what do you think is going to happen when you can only pay and afford the bare minimum of insurance, and they say, well, it's not covered under your plan, hun. You're going to have to up your plan, and you can't afford that or the insulin. So now you're struggling, and you have to sit here and you're trying to figure out, well, how am I going to manage my diabetes or my insulin resistance? When you could have helped yourself heal, and you still can if you're suffering. You still can if they stop covering you, or if you can't afford it. It's a matter of you changing your habits and understanding how to support your body. Stop putting yourself in insulin resistance every single day by spiking your insulin with the foods that you eat. Stop sitting here believing that these processed foods are okay for you to eat in moderation when you're not eating in moderation, because the cost of you not changing is you sitting here being in this $1 trillion profit that they're projecting. Obesity alone is expected to rise to $580 billion annually in the U.S. by 2030. $580 billion annually by 2030, they're projecting. And that's just for them treating the issue. That's not even you spending the money on fast foods, spending the money on processed foods. That's not even them sitting there telling you, hey, we're dealing with the root cause. So yes, we'll have $580 billion of profit, but we're going to help you heal. That's them telling you you're managing. So by 2030, in that $580 billion, what do you think it's going to look like by 2040? By 2050? That's going to be in the trillions too. And then instead of them dealing with it, instead of you dealing with it and changing and helping yourself, you're going to be sitting here still trying to figure out, how in the world did I get here? How in the world am I not healing? Why in the world do I have to take insulin for the rest of my life? And managing. When you could be helping your body heal, because your body is a healing vessel. It's the matter of what you're doing and how you're helping your body heal. And so it should drive home to you from hearing these statistics that you don't deserve this, and you know you deserve better. It's the matter of, how are you going to do better? How are you going to change the unhealthy habits that you have right now and lead yourself down the path of a healthy lifestyle and healing that looks like you living plant-based? No meat, no dairy is going to support you through your healthy lifestyle. That is a facade that they are feeding to you, and you see where it's led society when you look and you observe. Out of every three people, one person is obese. Out of every three people, you count 1, 2, 3 going outside, at least one of them is overweight and obese. So when you look at that statistic and you really sit there and you think about it, what is everybody else doing? Even chicken, all meat, seafood, All of it is making you inflamed. Chicken feeds type 2 diabetes. That was a study that they did, and they came out with it, and they don't publicize it, but it's literally in the scientific journals of the health. What is it called? I'm trying to look at. Hold on. So what is it called? The National. Oh, golly, hold on, I have to go back to the top. What is this called? Because this is where I look up. The National Library of Medicine. That's where you can get it from. The National Library of Medicine. The one that does all of those studies. They literally came out and told you chicken feeds type 2 diabetes. And if you want the masterclass that I talk about, it's only $47, and you get my Purge to Poison playlist. I mean, my Purge to Poison ebook with that. It's $47. I go through breaking down how dairy and meat is making you inflamed, and why you need to transform your life, and how you get started of going plant-based. It's only $47. You can get it with Klarna, Affirmer, Afterpay. The link is in my bio. Oh, I don't know if the link is up there. Honestly, it should be, but if it's not linked up there, I can send you the link directly so you can get it. Because literally it feeds diseases. If you want to change your lifestyle, and if you want to support your body, and you want to make that change for yourself so that you not only can be healthy and healing, but you can also show future generations how to help themselves heal, and show future generations how to help themselves be able to understand how to take care of their body, and so that we stop this cycle of this $1 trillion profit that they're about to make. It's a matter of you first leading by example and changing your habits and learning how you can live the lifestyle. And if you are sitting here, for instance, how this person just said that they're sitting there eating the terrible Philly cheesesteak and fries right in front of this live, understand that it's time for you to change now. Eat that Philly cheesesteak and that fries that you have right now, and say, you know what, that was the last time I'm going to eat it. It was delicious. Now I'm going to stop eating this. I'm going to figure out how to make it plant-based, because you can make it plant-based. That's what I did before I went plant-based. I ate all the foods that I said, you know what, this is going to be my last time eating ribs. I'm done eating pork after this. This is my last time eating chicken. Chicken was delicious. I loved it. I ate salmon for at least a month or two before I went plant-based. Only salmon, because I said, if I'm going to eat meat, this is going to be the meat that I eat, because I'm weaning myself off. I chose to eat the last time that I was going to eat these snacks and these foods, and enjoyed it. But I said it's no longer serving me, and I'm not going to keep poisoning myself knowing what I'm doing. If you want to know what to eat instead of chicken, or at least how to make yourself plant-based meals, I do have a plant-based cookbook that is linked in my bio. It's only $25. But I eat a variety of different things. So I eat like chickpeas. I eat, it just depends on like what I'm trying to make. I eat a lot of mushrooms. I eat a lot of chickpeas. I eat lentils, like legumes, beans. It's really just a matter of, because these are all proteins. These are all healthy proteins that you can get, and you can eat in big bulk a lot. Even if you won't necessarily need to, because you'll be full off of these. But these are healthy proteins, because people freak out about, how am I going to get my protein going plant-based? Those are healthy proteins. You just choose not to eat them, because I know of me, before I went plant-based, you couldn't catch me eating some refried beans. You still can't catch me eating refried beans. But season up some bean dip, season up some black beans, and put it in a black burger or a black bean burger or whatever else form. Oh, I'm tearing it up. I love beans. I literally chose to put black beans in my chili the other day. I've never been a bean eater. But it's a matter of understanding how to make it where you like it, or how you want it. You want a Philly cheesesteak, for instance. You can make Philly cheesesteak. It's all about seasoning. The meats that you love is not the taste, because meat is not a taste. It's the seasonings that you love. It's the seasonings that you crave. So it's a matter of knowing how to season it, how to make it, and what you want. And so that's what I teach you in that plant-based cookbook. It's a beginner guide to show you how. And I'm gonna add in that chili recipe that I just made, because I had never made it. Chicken feeds diseases. That's why I said it's literally in that National Health, what is it called again? What is this called? The National Library of Medicine. It literally, they tell you how chicken feeds diseases. It feeds diseases. All meat feeds some type of disease, and all diseases stem from inflammation. So it's a matter of you realizing that you have been inflamed all of your life eating these foods, and you're leading yourself down a path of disease, because inflammation feeds diseases. Because inflammation is your body's way of telling you we're toxic on the inside. That is your body's way of telling you there's toxicity in your body that you are not releasing, and you are feeding every single day. which has led you to being inflamed, which leads you to having high blood pressure, leads you to having heart disease, leads you to having liver failure and kidney disease and digestive issues, gut-related issues. Because the numbers, the statistics of how bad gut-related diseases are getting, gut-related issues and illnesses, IBS, is absolutely ridiculous. In the past 10 years, IBS has gone up like, I think at least 10 to 15%. You did not hear this many people talking about gut-related issues the way that we are now. You're having to sit here and take these gut supplements and these powders when all you need to do is just sit here and eat correctly. You don't need all this crap. Even tinctures and herbs. I tell everybody that comes to me talking about a herb or a tincture before they've started eating correctly, if you are not taking care of your body with food and using it as your medicine, you're wasting your time and your money on tinctures and herbs. If you are not using food as your medicine and eating a plant-based lifestyle, the herbs and the tinctures are not going to be as potent as they need to be in your body, which are not going to give you the results that you're looking for. So then you're going to start complaining about how it didn't work. They tell you that fish is a healthier alternative, but they haven't told you the fact that in 2019, they started finding seals with cancer. They're finding sea life with cancer. They have been finding sea life with cancer. Whales are purposely breaching themselves on the shore. The sea life is screaming to you, telling you they're not safe in this ocean. They dwell in the water that we dump in. If you don't know this, because this was new facts for me from a couple of months ago, our sewage water goes into the ocean. Our sewage water goes into the ocean. Think about how many people do drugs. Think about how many prescriptions people are on, which goes through our body, which goes into the water. Think about how much people dump in the toilets and everything else. People dump their chemicals from them sitting there. You know, you dump your Lysol and your floor water or whatever else you pour to mop the water with. You pour that in the toilet. All of that goes into your ocean water. These sea life live in the ocean. It's a matter of you understanding that they are telling you to poison yourself with the way that you were consuming. And then they tell you that they filter your water. So that's the reason why you can drink tap water. But they don't tell you that tap water is full of microplastics. It's full of all of these different chemicals because it does not filter out. For instance, it does not filter out fluoride. It does not filter out the prescriptions and the medications that people pee out and put in the water. So yes, the ocean life is not safe. They tell you that fish is a healthier alternative, that you should eat salmon, but they don't tell you that your sewage water is going into the ocean. They don't tell you that they were sitting there, those trail derailments that they were talking about, and how they were carrying all of those chemicals back and forth, how those chemicals that they don't want people to use as weapons, they dump those into the ocean because they don't want them to be used. Bioweapons, chemical liquid bioweapons are dumped into the ocean, and they tell you to go out and get some salmon, go get some seafood, because that's the healthier alternative. Y'all seafood boils that y'all are loving, think about how they boil your seafood boils in a plastic bag and then put your hot seafood in a plastic bag. Hot butter, hot crabs, hot potatoes. You're eating a microplastic filled meal. I hope you enjoy. Like, bottled water is just as bad. It's full of microplastics. Think about how long that's been in that bottled water. First of all, you don't even know how long it's been in there. The travel process, water bottles heat up all the time. And then also think about the fact that it's soaking in it all day, constantly, for however long it's been in there. I don't drink from water bottles. I have a water bottle from Epic water filters. I'm not sponsored by them, but I will promote them to the day that they can't hear me anymore. Maybe one day I'll be sponsored by them, but Epic water filters is what I use. I've had my water bottle for I think 2 years now, maybe. Maybe. I'm like, I don't think it's 3, so I'm gonna say 2. It might be 3. My timeline is so off, y'all, like so off. But I've had mine, and I got the bigger one. I think it's, don't get me to lying, me and numbers are all types of crazy, but I think 64 ounces something, because it's not the like this one, but it's the bigger one. So a subscription for water is good. What do you mean a subscription? I have Epic water filters. It's a big water bottle. They have pitchers. They have pitchers that go in the fridge, the smaller ones. They have the counter pitchers. They have water filters, I think, that connect to your sink. They have a lot of different products. You should go check them out. Like, I absolutely love them because not only do they have a recycling program, like in the doctor's office. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I really don't know what that is. Kiwix, I don't know what that is. But they have a lot of different options. They have a recycling program. So when you get, like, for instance, 3 filters, they have like these little filters. You can use them anywhere, fill up anywhere. You can fill up outdoors. You can use any water and it filters it. Go sit down. Sorry, my dog. You can use any kind of water. Yeah, Epic water filters, and they have a recycling program. So you send in, I think, 5 and you get 1 free, or you send in 3, you get 1 free. I don't know what it is exactly, I forgot. But they're a good brand that shows you and tells you everything. They go have a water test to tell you everything that's filtered out. So it's like there are options, it's just a matter of you knowing how. And so these are the things that I teach you if you get into my 12-week program. This is what I teach you step by step. Each week we are learning something new that allows you by the end of the 12 weeks to not only live the lifestyle that I live and be completely plant-based, but also be able to just sustain the lifestyle so that you can pass this knowledge on, so that we're not sitting here in constant just pain and suffering in fight or flight mode, because I'm tired of seeing it. We don't deserve it, and we don't have to keep living this way. It's just a matter of what do we want to do? How do we want to change? What do we want to do for ourselves? Because we're suffering, and you see that with our society. So there is help out there for you, whether you get my program or you just tap into that ebook. You can get a Klarna Affirmer Afterpay. It's a matter of what you do for yourself. The education is out there. I give you plenty of free content. So now if you want change, it's a time for you to go get that. You can start today. With all the free content that I give you, you can start today. You can start changing today. But if you don't know how, you don't know where to start from, and you need the education, and you need the support, and you need the balance, that's when you need to come work with me, and I can support you. So if you have any questions, please drop them down in the comments before I get off. I'm supposed to be juicing some juice for my aunt. So I'm going to mentally prepare myself to start doing that because that's a process. So if you guys have any questions, please drop them down in the comments. And if you don't see anything, or if any links are not working that is in my bio, please let me know. Thank you. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for the gifts. Thank you. Thank you. If you have any questions, please drop them down and let me know. If you are suffering from anything currently right now and you need support and you need help and you just don't know where to go, how to start, please know that, and thanks for the follow, please know that you can always DM me. My DMs are always open after my lives. You can always ask me any questions. And if I have any products or services, I will refer you to them if they will support you and I know that they can help you. But just understand that you are not alone, that you don't have to do this alone, and you don't have to sit there and feel like that there's no solution, there's no end in sight, because there is a solution. There is a way for you to support yourself. There is a way for you to be able to get to the space of you being healthy and healing, and to stay in that space and to enjoy it. Because a lot of people see the lifestyle change as diet culture, and it's not diet culture. You changing your lifestyle is going to support you in not only realizing how your body is able to heal, but also how your body is not sitting there every single day fatigued and tired and mentally fogged, and there's nothing wrong with you. That you don't have to be sitting here anxious because of the foods that you're eating and having panic attacks of the foods that you're eating. Because you have to realize the fact that these things lead you here because you're malnourished. You're not getting the nutrients that you need, but you're filling your body with crap. You're eating toxic dyes. Thank you for the gifts. And so you can help your body heal and establish that healing and see and reap the reward of the benefits and see how your body is supposed to function. Because majority of society doesn't even realize how their body's supposed to function, because we've been eating this way all of our life. And you don't deserve to be poisoning yourself every single day, living a life of poisoning yourself. But it's a matter of taking action and knowing how to do it. I do. I was going to today juice on live, but it just didn't work out. There's a lot of things going on around in my home, so it was not gonna work out. I wouldn't have been able to do it in peace. But I did recently, if you have not, for everybody that's in here, if you have not subscribed to my YouTube, go check it out because I post all my past live. You can go check out, I just cooked a meal from scratch completely on live. And yes, it was 3 hours, a 3-hour live, but in reality for me cooking and talking to you guys, it took 3 hours. But doing that and actually cooking that whole meal from scratch probably would have only taken me an hour, hour and a half. But I was on here, you know, conversing and talking and going back and forth and everything else, so it extended it. But I did cook a full meal on live. I think I've cooked a few, maybe 2 or 3 meals on live, but that was the most recent one that I posted. We made, what did we make? We made stuffed bell peppers. That's what we made, and we made it from completely from scratch, start to finish. So if you want to see a cooking live, you can go check that out. It's on my YouTube, and don't forget to subscribe to everybody that's in here. And just in case they do take us away from TikTok, if they take TikTok away from us, I will either be live on YouTube or Instagram. So you need to either get on my email list and follow me on other my socials, or just follow my socials, whichever one, because you will know when I go live if you're on my email list. And if they take TikTok from us, we'll either probably going back to Instagram, or we might be on YouTube. We might go to Twitch. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, we cooked that complete meal. It was a Q&A. We cooked that from scratch. I answered questions during that, so you can go check that out, and you can drop questions in the comments if you have any questions from any of my past lives, and I do respond to the comments, so you can go check those out as well. Do you guys have any more questions before I get off? Please drop them down, and like I said, if you have any questions after I get off, you can always DM me. But yeah, you need to get on the wave of taking care of your body now, because I'm telling that 2030 agenda is something crazy. Like the projection of profits alone is crazy, but the agenda is another issue. And I don't really know how much we can talk about on TikTok, but it is being told, like they told you, because that's the thing. They slide things in there and tell you, just like on the BET Awards when Taraji P. Henson was talking about the 2030 agenda and how we all need to get it together. That was their one, two, 3 times, however many, because I think 3 celebrities have talked about it. That's your warning. I don't think they're going to talk about it much anymore. That was your warning. But we've been talking about this since 2019, 2020. That was your warning. Do you meal prep a lot? Because that's my issue, and I hate to cook. It just depends. If you hate to cook and you know that meal prepping is something that you can do and that it's something that will sustain you, I give you easy, quick meals, meal preps, all in that ebook. I do whatever my body is telling me. Like if I know, for instance, like my cycle is coming, I'm not gonna want to cook. I always have black bean burgers in the freezer. That's something easy for me to throw in the air fryer, you know, get some buns, put it in between there, throw some cheese on it, boom. I always have cheese prepped, so boom, I always have a queso cheese that I can just use as a cheese sauce, use it as like a, you know, whatever inside of pasta, or put it on a burger, or make a grilled cheese from it, because that I have the cheese sauce that's pinned in my on my page on my TikTok. Literally, it can be as thick as you want it or runny as you want it. It's a matter of what you're making it for. So I always make mine thick, and then I add water into it if I want it to be runny. Because all you're doing is seasoning it anyway. So it's just like, it's not going to make it watery. It's going to just make it, I mean, it's not going to make it taste like water. It's just going to make it runny. Yeah, Project 25, Project 2030 is crazy. That's what I'm saying. Like the whole World Economic Forum, if you have not been on there, if you've not looked at the agenda, you're behind and you're not aware of what's going on, and where they're projecting where things are going and what they want for you. And you have to break away from what they want from you and what the Most High wants for you. You have to step into what He wants for you, because what they want for you is not your best path to go down. You see how society is. But what the Most High wants for you is to become aware, change your habits, and to get back how your body is designed to be healing. Because a lot of people are not healing because they don't know how to do it. They're not aware of the agenda that is against them and the programming that they have been fed all of their life. And so they just keep doing the same thing over and over again, telling their children to do the same thing, passing these terrible generational curses down. And we label them as a disease and say that it's something that runs in our family, when that's a curse. That's what it is. It's the curse of you not changing your ways when it comes to food. The curse of you not choosing real natural foods that grow outside on the earth. Because before people started slaughtering and eating meat, even before when we had all this access to all of these, you know, plants and them mass producing meat, they weren't eating meat every single day. They weren't even eating meat once or twice a week. They weren't eating it once a month. Sometimes they would go months without it. They weren't malnourished. They were walking miles a day. They were okay. They were thriving. They didn't have all these mental illnesses. They didn't have all of these issues when it came to digestion and diseases. Yes, they had their own illnesses, but as far as food-related diseases, that's the number one, not number one, but I don't know if it's number one. Either which, I think it is number one, because I think number one is like, it's either close to top 3 or it's number one. It's like heart disease, heart failure, heart attacks. That's caused from food. Like, yes, stress has a factor, but when you are putting your body in stress with the foods that you're eating, you have to realize the diseases that we suffer from, the top 10 diseases that we're suffering from today, are caused by food. It's because of the stress that we're putting on our body with food. That's a curse. We're choosing food over our own health, and not natural, real food that is nourishing. We're choosing crap. That's a curse. So I'm not seeing any more questions, so I guess I'm going to hop off of here, guys. I appreciate all the love that you've shown. Thank you, everyone, for all the likes and the gifts. Thank you for the follows. Like I said, all my past lives are posted on YouTube, and I hope you have a great, amazing rest of your day.